Trust me, I do the same thing with my vape pens, bro. I
to
do
let the
same thing.
spirit flow through me, bro.
I'll flow through you, baby.
Ooh, on that note, welcome to the Usual Tuesday podcast. I'm your host, Big Corpse, joined by the wonderful, the lovely, the audacious, powerful 0% and
Jeez.
save one, my guys. Again, I
Hello,
apologize.
brother.
Shalom.
Tuesday. Damn. Y'all remember that whole sketch shit that happened?
Yeah, we got his shit leaked.
Yeah, he was sucking dick and taking dick in the ass, and he made it through, bro.
Was he taking
made it
dick
through.
in the ass? Really?
He was taking dick in the ass, bro.
That's okay, bro. Whatever you want to
You
do,
know,
you know? It's all love.
He gave the most human reaction to that, and that's a thing. I think that's why he was able to power through it. He was gonna off himself, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think one thing that's really dope about him, and I mean this is making a fat assumption of him, right? But from what it seems, is that he was never like a super like I don't know how to say this without it sounding super gross, right? But he wasn't like a super like, oh,
Nelly!
blah blah blah
Much
against
love. Hello.
the LGBT community and saying
Thank
ragdoll
you for
shit
being here,
about them.
Nell.
You know what I'm saying? And then like the stuff kind of aired
No,
out, and he
you're
was like,
all good. I
"Hey,
know it's
bro,
late over there. I
it was a
appreciate you for
time and period of my
stopping
life. I was
by.
out here getting
Thank you,
freaky."
thank
Like,
you,
you know what I'm
man.
saying? And so it wasn't like he really had to. What am I like looking to try to say right now? Like,
He wasn't
do y'all
super
get
like
what
judgmental.
Yeah, he didn't have to like face a lot of adversity.
He wasn't
because
he wasn't like
backtrack
throwing
it?
stones.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
like,
he didn't have to walk the dog back. He didn't have to be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, well, really, this was before this." Like, no. He's just like, "Hey, bro, listen.
everybody
Some-
fucks up.
Everybody
You
says
know.
a
Everybody
little
makes
dick
mistakes.
sometimes.
Never know. You don't like it until you try
Wait,
it."
what'd you say, D?
What?
What did you just say?
I didn't say anything, bro. No, I'm just playing. No, it was like because it wasn't a mistake. It was just a deliberate, like, it was a different
freaky out
time
here.
back then. It was different.
Well, he did say that he was like on drugs and stuff, and
Yeah, it was in a
he
bad
making
spot.
money from
That
it.
is true. That is true.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could say it was a mistake.
How have you been, Nelly? Yeah, that's true.
And I will come in from somebody who was a serious addict at one point. Like, yeah, bro, you get into some shit, and I again, right wing, super conservative, fucking homophobe, all the shit, right? I'm just gonna say, bro,
It's crazy.
I've never wanted to do that, but dog, if that's how you let it loose, I guess, like I'm not here to hate on homeboy, and I'm just so. I think when we did talk about it, I think that was like the one question I really asked about him was like, was he somebody who was like super like against LGBT people and X, Y, and Z? But
He never spoke. I don't think he's ever spoke on it.
I don't think he has. I mean, he spoke on the situation that came. Like he was on Kill Tony, and he joked about it a few times, right? Which was cool. Like,
Oh, he
to
jokes
me,
about it a
it's
lot
cool.
now. He jokes
Yeah.
about it a lot.
Yeah.
Which I think that's how you
have
got to do it.
You have to,
Yeah.
yeah. You can't, because if it's gonna bother you, I mean, people are just gonna keep picking at it.
Yeah, you got to be able to laugh at yourself. I truly believe that.
Yeah.
Cisco, please, because I'm frothing at the mouth to talk. I wanna hear what you guys said about that whole topic you dropped in there.
All right.
About the,
Oh, also, by the way, I love the clips that you posted on TikTok this week. By the way, about
from the Love Island
last episode. Yeah, they came out really good.
They were Opus. Shout out Opus Clips, man.
Shout out Opus Clips.
You guys do the best work.
All right, so
yeah, Nelly, we've been really, really.
I'm actually
good.
surprised we didn't
I
talk about
appreciate
this
you.
last week.
I appreciate you, Nelly. Sorry.
The Sydney Sweeney thing.
When did this?
What?
This happen in the? Because we haven't.
It happened 3 weeks ago.
It happened about 3 weeks.
We should
It
have
was
talked
really
about it the
fresh.
week that we talked about the Love Island thing. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, the Love Island thing was supposed to be 2 seconds of the podcast, and it ended up being the whole fucking thing.
But before we even get to should have talked about it, right? Can you please tell me what's going on? And just for our viewers at
For
home.
context, okay.
For our viewers
I
at
think
home.
D should.
and
I
how
think
you
D
guys
should explain it because I'll
Alrighty.
explain it biased. I'll explain it biasly.
Me and Cisco were based and right, and Punch was wrong. No,
What?
so wait, you're talking about? Oh,
No, we're talking about the Sydney
I thought you
Sweeney
said
thing.
break down what happened last week for the viewers. Okay, break down for what happened.
Oh, I
with
do
the
want
whole-
you to do. If you want to do that, you can do that.
That's
too.
what I
That'd
was
be
doing.
hilarious.
That's exactly what I was doing. That's the summary of last 2 weeks ago's podcast. Now, the breakdown of what happened with Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney obviously is on, I think, on a big run for advertisers, I'd say. She's doing a lot of advertising, and I think they're like sexual in nature. I think one of the biggest ones is going to be like Dr. Squatch. She did one for those, and it was like a coconut smelling body wash, and it was obviously like her boobs are out, whatever. Not out, but you know what I mean. They're like the main focus. And so fast forward a little bit. Huh?
She's got headies.
So fast forward a little bit, you find she's in a fairly recent commercial with, is it Hollister?
American Eagle.
American Eagle.
American Eagle.
That's right.
American Eagle.
American Eagle. And there's kind of a double entendre happening. It's like kind of sexual, but also is in reference to genes because it's a genes company. But they also use the phrase genes as genetics. And it's, people point out because she's like a blonde hair, blue eyed person that it's pointing to like a more like white supremacy undertones. So the basics of the commercial goes like it's a pan shot of her in full like jeaned out, jean jacket, jean pants, and she's like, I forget exactly. I could like pull up the verbatim, but the gist of it is like, I have great genes. These are great genes. I look good because of my genes. And then she like buttons up her pants. There's like various different. I think there's like 2 different commercials, but the one that
She says my jeans are blue. Like that was the main.
She's
focus.
like, my genes are passed down from generation to generation, whatever. And she alludes to the fact that she has good genes. That's it. That's basically it. People pull that, what could be like viewed as like white supremacist undertones. I don't really think it is. It's kind of stretchy, but I get where people can start to pull this stuff. You got to I was telling Cisco, if you're a company, you know what's kind of going on in the world, I feel like you kind of got to feel the room a little bit. Sometimes you just don't make commercials that might skew in like a certain direction because of the landscape of where you are. Like you're just not going to, I give the example of like during the Red Scare, you're not going to be like a banking company or like a investment company and be like, time to redistribute the money. It's like, you're just not making that commercial in the Red Scare. You know what I mean? Like you read the room a little bit. So that was kind of,
But I mean, I think they did put it out because it was kind of edgy. You know what I mean? I
and we talked
I don't think it's enough.
We talked about this and I was like, that's fine if you want to make that edgy, commercial video, TV show, whatever, but you got to take the blows when you know that they're coming. Does that make sense? Like you got to know that the blowback's coming if it's edgy. That's the whole
And then
point.
on the backside of that, Corpse, just so you have context between mine and Zero's conversation, I said that American Eagle can't come out now and be like, "Oh, we're so sorry about offending people," and like, like we didn't mean it that way, and we'll take the ad down. Bro, American Eagle did exactly what they were supposed to do. They doubled down. They said our advertisement is about jeans, and there was like no issue of an apology at all. And I was like, that's how you got to do it. You know what I mean?
And I even sent Cisco a message. I said, all right, kind of based. I mean, like, not based, obviously, the what people are pulling of the white supremacy supposedly undertone, but based that you want to, like, you know what, we made this commercial, we know what we're doing, and, we didn't mean it that way. We're not going to apologize because you took it that way. It's like, okay, based.
Like, they're selling blue jeans, and the girl has blue eyes. And
she's hot.
A lot of the world thinks that she's attractive. Like,
she's got huge tits. God,
to me, that's the selling point. Maybe I'm just fucking a hard-headed man.
Sure,
and, but
I think that's what I mean. That's the idea, though. You want to make. I don't know if this is like would be considered propaganda. If you want to really like dig into the undertones of like supposedly white supremacy, but that's the point. Like you want to make content that can be viewed as outrageous and also be viewed as like something that's flying under the radar of like, oh, it's ridiculous to call out this because it's just like, this is just a person. It's just a person. It's like, okay, bro, but it's just a person. But you know what you're doing. You know exactly what you're doing when you're putting this person in front of the camera and saying these things. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I genuinely don't feel that it was even supposed to be interpreted that way. Like I don't even think they hinted at it. I genuinely don't. She has good genes. She's an attractive girl. Like they could have put anybody, but the issue is they're doing a blue gene commercial. There's not a lot of people of color that have blue eyes that can make the same, you know,
I don't think you needed
quirky
blue eyes, but
I don't think you need
But what I'm
even.
saying, the last thing that she says is she says something about like genes are passed down from generation. They could determine hair color and something else, and then she says, and even eye color, and she says my genes are blue.
Bro.
So I'm taking into consideration the last thing she said, eye color. Her genes are blue, just like her eyes, and that was what the fucking quirkiness of the commercial was.
Like let's just let's just rewind a little bit and let's take it from the top, right? For me, just a little bit is show me an advertisement that doesn't strike a chord of some kind of undertone, right? That doesn't appeal to a lifestyle that may not be true, right? We buy cigarettes, right? Don't you guys remember old cigarette commercials when it was like a cowboy smoking it and it just made it look so fucking
yeah, bro, but you look cool doing it.
manly,
You do look cool
right?
doing it.
You look fucking cool. Like this car. You get in this car and then you're driving down this Norwegian mountainside and your kids are finally behaving themselves in the back seat. That's what they sell you, right? They sell you the hotel room with the perfectly folded fucking blankets and the toilet tissue that's folded up looking like a goose, right? They sell you that. And just with these fucking pants, right? Whatever undertone that they're selling, I don't give a fuck because it's there. Like, if you're really trying to combat maybe here's a question for you guys. Wouldn't you think it's smarter for people who are trying to combat this type of idea, right? Let's just say by not talking about it as much, right? Like, don't you think that American Eagle knew they were striking that undertone and that it would be on the news for the next 2.5 weeks? That it would headline on Twitter and on Threads and on Instagram, that it would be on every fucking post? Like, don't you think they kind of took that into consideration as well? Like, they knew that. So, like, if you want to combat it, don't give it the attention you want.
Or it's impossible, though. You know why? Because everybody has a fucking opinion. Everybody's going to state their opinion.
Well,
I don't fuck with Nike. But I don't go on here talking about fuck Nike. I just don't fuck with them. Like, that's it. That's all.
But why? But what's the reason behind it?
There was just, I used to really fuck with Nike. I thought they had really cool shoes, all this stuff. I started seeing more about how they're involved in some of the prison system and then, some of the exploitation of certain. I watch how they exploit certain movements and they sign certain people to certain deals during very certain times. And
you're talking about Colin Kaepernick? Well, what was wrong with the Colin Kaepernick thing? I don't understand.
No. I'm not mad at Colin for going and getting that bread, right? But I feel like Nike capitalized on a moment that he was extremely popular, had a Netflix documentary that dropped. He was headlining news, all this shit. And they also capitalized on, which is a legitimate movement against police brutality and everything like that. And they just took a big dub, on a social front. They took a big dub by signing him. But people like me is like, you guys are kind of gross because you're not actually doing anything in the communities.
Mm-hmm.
But what if they are, though?
I do.
Are they actually not? And you got to think, who's their number one? People buying their shoes? That community.
Yeah, but there's also a lot of guys who are getting shot over Nike pumps that don't do shit for their sneakers. Like, you know what I'm saying? And Nike still prices them at $400 a pop, and these dudes are getting popped over them. Like,
Nike doesn't price anything at $400. It's the resellers. Just saying.
Again,
But
make
also,
your dough.
Nike
Make
does
your dough.
have the capability of having the correct amount of supply for their shoes, so that resellers don't really have the capability of reselling.
Then you
I
take
could
away the
see them in the
limitation. Then you
community.
take away the limitation.
The limitation doesn't. It doesn't matter when people are dying over these shoes. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but that's not on Nike though. People dying is not on Nike.
A part
Nike
of
releases a
no,
limited amount of
a part of it
shoes.
is. A part of it is.
there is a
I
part of
don't believe that.
responsibility that they have. They kind of.
If I have
It's like saying like gun manufacturers, right, aren't responsible for any deaths. It's like you kind of are a little, right, because you produce the thing, right, and you could produce like, because we could think of it like pistols and whatnot, but then when you think of weaponry of like atomic bombs, like why are guys sitting around and creating weapons that on an international scale is illegal for you to use? Like,
Wait,
why
I
are
don't.
we
I
still
don't know
making
if I
those
would.
things?
I don't know if I would agree with
Yeah,
that.
how are you
100%.
relating Nike shoes?
No, but
and
I would say
bombs?
if I have a product that I know is vastly sought after over my fan base to the point where my product is now being overpriced from my initial like profit margins. It's like, okay, well, one, I could bump up my profit margins by a decent amount, still make enough for the people who actually want to wear the shoe or buy the shoe or do whatever with the shoe, actually have the shoe, have the capability of buying. Why not do that? You know what I mean?
That's where I
No,
say
because it's
that's
of the
where
limitation. That's
well,
part of the
that's what I
culture.
But that's where you got to draw this whole thing, bro. It's overkill. Like the atomic bomb, my guy. Like what they're doing with the
But that has
shoe
nothing to
and
do with Nike. It has Nike's not. Nike didn't say, "Oh, these shoes are gonna be sold aftermarket for so much money." Nike released a shoe. They released a limited amount of shoes. The people that the culture
they released a
that-
what? A
a
limited
limited amount of
amount
shoes.
of shoes. So they kind of create the craze behind the shoe by
But
creating a
they
false
don't
sense of
know.
limitation.
It's not a false sense of limitation.
No,
Though.
it
There
is,
is a limited amount of
No,
shoes.
no. They
How
can
is it a
make more
false sense?
shoes. They
They
can
can
just
make
make more
10,000.
shoes.
But then they're not as sought after.
A part of why they are also, that's why I say, right, there's a small fractional, like, and trust me, it's a hairline of a fraction of a responsibility that they got to own, because you're saying, okay, we're only going to make 300 of these shoes, when in reality, right, they can make 10,000 of them. They could have 10,000 and only tell you that they have 200 available.
Oh, that's
get
like
what I'm
saying
saying?
you put a rare Pokemon, the rare Pokemon card that everybody's looking for in every single pack of Pokemon, because it makes it more fair for everybody to get that
No,
card.
but it's also no. That's not the same at all because you're talking about it. You're talking
No.
about a whole
Almost,
box.
almost,
You're talking about a whole box, but also you didn't. And I don't know. Maybe this does happen. I don't follow Pokemon. We don't have Pokemon coming out and saying there's only 6 Charizards in the world and that's it. We're not making any more. That's not the same. Like there is the chance to get a Charizard every box that you pull. Now, will you? Maybe, maybe not. And these boxes are sought after, and there is a resale market. But you don't see a Pokemon being like, "This is the last box we're ever making," or whatever. You know, applied to the same. I don't know how Pokemon works.
They have done that with base set. Do they make base set Pokemon cards anymore? No,
No.
they're limited.
I don't
That's
know.
why they came out with base set 2. That's just like when the original Jordan 4 came out. It only ran for a little bit of time, and now they re-released it. So there's going to be a limited amount. You're going to tell me right now, if the Pokemon company said, we're going to do a small run of base set again, a limited amount, that's the wrong thing for them to do? They know
I don't
what
think
the
it's
market
the
is
wrong
like.
thing. It is. I'm just saying, like you do have to hold some.
Oh, but you're saying if somebody dies because they shot each other over a limited base set rerun, it's on Pokemon?
more for the reselling. I don't know. I don't know if I'd go as hard for like the whole killing thing. That is pretty intense. I'll
That
probably
was the original art.
no, but I'd probably step away from that specific.
I still hold people like Nike a little.
I don't know if I could, because people.
Just a hair.
It's not
I'm
their
telling you,
fault.
hair,
Nike's not like, oh yeah, we're gonna put this limited amount of Jordans out
Yeah,
so that people
yeah,
can fucking
no.
kill each other. Like, what the fuck?
Listen, you're not gonna find me in a fucking picket line talking about, oh, ban Nike because they promote fucking kids killing each other, right? Like, no. Like, I don't want to get that twisted up, right? And I guess like my biggest thing with the whole even thing why I even brought up Nike is like, I don't like them, and I just don't like them in silence, right? And I feel like I do more for my own peace, right? By just not participating in their activities. My thing with the whole American Eagle, to kind of like bring it back, is
Yeah,
you are a little responsible for the way that you choose to market your shit, right? Because you're making that choice, right?
Mhm.
Do I think just like Nike, right? American Eagle and all these other companies, was it amazing marketing? Absolutely. Just like the Colin Kaepernick thing. Perfect opportunity, and you guys rode the wave, bro. There's a little
Have a
bit of
good night, Nelly. Thank you so
responsibility,
much for dropping
but I
by.
think
Much love.
what's funny is the same
Say
people
hello
who
to
protest
Lyric
against
for me.
Nike buy their fucking shoes, right? And they'll be in a picket line talking about how they suck, and they play
wearing a
like
pair
both
of
sides of
dunks.
the. What's that?
Wearing a pair of dunks.
Wearing it, fucking got the whole jumpsuit. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they're doing. And I just that's why everyone's like so gung ho about the American Eagle thing. It's like, one, when's the last time you wore their clothes? Two, are you still gonna buy their clothes after they made this fucking commercial? Because
Well, I mean, I agree. I think you got to take the ownership of like how you do it. But I think the biggest reason is like being vocal is being able to touch the people who it will affect. Knowing that knowledge will prevent them from continuing to support the brand that they'd rather not having that knowledge. If you were never able to find any of the information about how Nike exploits certain, movements or certain, things or moves in weird ways, that's people being vocal about the way that they're moving. You just happen to stumble upon, or not stumble upon it, but look for it at the time that you did.
interesting.
I would say.
So wait, what's the consensus? Was American Eagle wrong for the advertisement they put out, or not?
I think it was just a little edgy, but
I
I also don't buy American Eagle anyway, so
they're responsible for their
Not their
backlash.
demo.
They're responsible for their backlash, and they got to hold that, right? Like, there was a group of people who get paid a lot of money who came up with that ad and said, "That's the one," right? So you own that, right? Do I think it was good? Do I think it was clever? All the shit? Yes, and I think they did a great job. And so, yeah, they're just responsible for the backlash they get, right? Like, that's it. But do I think that they should be responsible to a sense of like making apologies for an edgy and like, yeah, tiptoed a line, bro? Who cares? Who fucking cares, right? Like, if she was butt naked under the jeans and was like, "Oh, I'm just a dirty girl," like, would that made you guys feel better? Like, would you have felt better? Like,
well,
if it was just a sexual undertone,
Like,
like,
she was
no, the whole-
degrading
the whole-
herself. You mean?
the whole
yeah,
but
you
the
get what
whole
I'm
thing
saying?
is what she says. It's not only that it's her, because it is that it's her, kind of, right? But it's what she says in compliment of who
Okay,
she
but
is.
let's say,
Because she's
but
white
we
and
don't, but we
blonde
see
hair
her as a
and blue
sex
eyes.
But
we
again,
see her as a sex icon, right?
again-
We see her as a sex icon.
sure, and there's a version of this commercial that is in tandem with the jeans one that is just like has cleavage, and she's like, hey, my eyes are up here, and that is
Oh yeah, I
not
did
the
see
one
too.
that came under fire, and the other one did.
So what are we really going to argue about right now? Like, you get what I'm saying? Because I feel, personally, that if you want to further society and all these things, right, we just need to pick the right arguments, right? But clothes, we know, will always be marketed in a fashion to where it accentuates the body, right?
Yeah, sure.
Whatever.
So will Carl's Jr.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Bro,
That's what I was.
Carl's Jr.
I was actually gonna bring up Carl's Jr.
Carl's Jr. had some of the most ridiculous ads growing up. Even still, probably now. I haven't seen a Carl's Jr. ad, I feel like, in a minute, but Carl's Jr., it's ingrained in my mind, bro. Just the crazy
Carmen Electra
supermodels.
with
Yeah.
fucking
Two,
cars blowing up behind her. And
yeah,
she
like a
got fucking
Whopper.
ketchup on her tits, and yeah, like
You're like, bro, what is this about? I'm so confused.
I told my mom, I was like, Mom, can we go to Carl Jr. please?
Yeah, I was like, bro, this is so funny. It was the most just unhinged fucking commercials, I feel like. You know what, base?
Yeah, no, I don't see nothing wrong with the commercial. I think it was edgy. I think they knew exactly what they were doing, and I think overall they are going to do wonders. Because I hadn't even heard that name in a few years. Like, oh, I bought American Eagle pants. Like, who, bro? Like, who bought
think-
those?
I think what's always like hard to gauge is I think we always think of these companies as being like, oh, well, they probably knew that their name was going to be in the news cycle for the next X amount of time. And that's true. We've probably talked about American Eagle more over the last 30 days than we have probably in the last year of their existence. Or 5 years, whatever. Give the timeline. The spike is probably like, and then yeah. But I think the more important thing is like, yes, bad press is probably this. What's the saying? Like good press is
All press
is good
bad
press. Something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah.
All press is good.
But I think obviously the super important part is like the amount of people who are buying your stuff, and then there's probably a big skyrocket where you're like, oh shit, fuck yeah. But then, do you fall lower than where you were before? I think that's the important thing to like. How many people fall off because they just don't fuck with you anymore?
Yeah, but I think the fall off just happens so gradually that it doesn't take into effect immediately as immediate as the spike does.
Sure. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make your money now.
I think that's
Pump
like
and dump, baby.
like probably the most prime and like drastic examples were like Kanye. Kanye was like controversy after controversy after like controversial thing, and you know he went on the crazy deep end. But like now, how many people don't fuck with his music, won't play his music, won't really like do things with him? You know what I mean? Like that's the damage.
You still can't. You can't get me to hate that man though. That's the only thing.
That's crazy.
I cannot hate him.
You don't hate him as a, not hate, but like you just don't like him as a person.
I think he's fucking hilarious. And there was a very, very, very long time where I thought he was a genius.
That's
and
crazy.
I still think that he has genius qualities.
What?
Hear me out, okay? I still think that he has genius qualities. I think just his delivery is piss poor, and what he does for shock value more than showing his genius. Because for so long he was trying to show the world his genius, right? Like trying to show people the difference in how he designs clothes and how he wanted to make Disney different, and his idea of just, I mean, he revolutionized the music industry as well. You know what I mean? For a long, even behind closed doors, before people even knew who he was, with a lot of the production that he did. And then I just really think that when his mom died, he fell off the deep end. I think he is a very smart man when it comes to like marketing and shit like that. Bro, he's in like Korea right now doing a big ass tour.
I didn't even know that.
And he's like selling out shows. People still fuck with him.
Interesting.
I think it's just like the American people that don't really fuck with him because of the type of shit that he's saying.
I mean,
but if you ever watched
huge market though. I'm not even saying that he's like completely irrelevant. I'm just saying like just look at the damage he did. I mean, here in America mainly is what I focus on. Like that's a lot of damage.
If you watch that academics video where he puts on the fucking all black KKK outfit, it's one of the funniest things I've ever watched in my life. It was fucking hilarious. Because he's just trolling. He's just a fucking troll.
It's a long troll. It's too long of a troll.
Yeah, it's and I mean he went on the Lex Friedman podcast and got a little squirrely, and I love Kanye, and I love him in the sense not that I'm like a huge fan of his music or a huge fan of this but he is a genius. The dude has a proclivity to music and the creation of music that, you know, some people just don't ever get around to. I think that he's so smart and that it hurts, you know, like I think some people are so smart it's painful, right? and I think his pain is really shown through like some of the shit he has said, like on the Alex Jones show, bro, is fucking funny, right? Like it's pure
Well,
comedy.
hold on. We talked about the Alex Jones thing, right?
That shit was fucking crazy.
And I sat here and defended what Kanye said on the Alex
You
Jones
did.
thing. And you guys got so mad at me about it.
Because, bro, like, okay, because this is where I'm gonna
It
make
is
my
Talking about
point.
the I Love Hitler thing, right?
Yes, this is where I'm gonna make my point a little bit. Is because he has fans, dedicated fans who've helped supply his life. That those things that he's saying are so irreparable to them, right? That where it's like, to me, it has no effect, right? Like, again, I sympathize with people, right? But none of my family was involved in that shit, right? Like, yeah, my grandpa fought in the war or whatever, but like, I don't have numbers on my arm, type shit. You know what I'm saying? And so there's again, like American Eagle, and this is how I wanted to make sure I made my point on it is I remember back then I was like, he just has to be ready and be responsible for the things that he has said, right? Because some people, it ain't going to sit cool with him. There's going to be some little boys and some little girls who loved him and was sincere with him, and they lost him. You lost them. You broke their hearts, bro. And that should weigh on your conscience a little bit as a person, I feel. A little bit. He doesn't need to hold a lot of responsibility, but there's got to be a little bit you hold on that one.
I stand behind what I said about the Kanye West
Yo, that's
saying that
unhinged.
he loves Hitler.
You didn't even have to bring it back to that, bro. You really didn't have to say it.
I'm just saying, bro. Like, still to this
down.
day, it's the context of what he was saying and why he said he loves Hitler. Like,
yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
it was the context behind what he said. That if he was just like I love Hitler and ended it with that, I'd be like, yeah, I can't fuck with this guy. Like, what the fuck is he talking about? You know what I mean?
That was
But
a
he
very
wasn't-
culpable statement, and I'm gonna make sure that happens.
I'm just saying, like, he literally explained it down to the fact that Hitler helped create the microphone, and that's why Kanye West is famous. Like, he broke it down and gave the context on why he said. He didn't just say some unhinged shit just to say the unhinged shit.
I think you can.
He gave the context.
I think you can give respect to like what people's contribution, even bad people's contributions are to the world, and say, you know what, like all respect to them. Obviously, they didn't fucking do the greatest things, like, but you could have respect for the things that they left after, while not also like pledging your love to like the the person who arguably or like
Just saying.
definitely
He didn't
is
say he
responsible
loves him
killing-
for the bad things that he did.
But no, he's talking about like him as in general, like he loves Hitler, and that's probably not okay. That's not okay to say.
Listen, I can't agree with him on my love for Hitler because I don't love Hitler, but I can get behind what he was saying and understand why he loves Hitler. Does that make sense?
No.
Mm-hmm. I get it.
It makes sense to Corbs.
I get it. I get it. I get it.
I'm not a Hitler lover.
I think it's a little copium when you gotta say that.
I'm just saying. I just want to be very clear for anybody that's listening to this. I don't love Hitler,
I think
and I don't.
I think you should look at who you're vouching for if you gotta repeat that a couple times.
I'm just vouching for the statement that he made. I'm not vouching for everything that he's ever done.
I'm not saying
I'm
you
just
are.
saying
that
the
statement.
context in which that conversation went and what the clip was that went so viral was just him saying that he loves Hitler.
You know what?
Which
I think
is
that's
unfair to him because they're not adding the context in why he said that. That's my the
Again.
point that I'm trying to
I
make.
still don't think that the loving what came out of an unfortunate situation or an unfortunate human life doesn't constitute you having to say that you love the person or have love for the person or anything that they did. You just, he happened to do a thing
it's
that
subjective, though. It's subjective, though. He could love Hitler for
Yeah,
those contributions, though.
like
You could love
no,
somebody for
I
those
don't. No,
contributions.
I don't think you can love somebody for the good contributions and negate all the bad that they did. I don't believe that.
I don't.
Well,
But do you think?
whoa.
Do we know for sure that he negates all the negative? that he
I'm not
was
saying that he thinks it's negated. I'm saying that you can't exclusively love somebody for the good that they did and negate the bad. You have to take it as is the whole individual.
I think that's an untrue statement.
No, that's very untrue.
I think that's an untrue statement.
Fuck. I just hate that we're
How?
talking about this.
If you have an
I hate that we're talking
abusive
about
girlfriend-
this dude.
Well, okay, let's change it to just now what.
No,
David's saying.
we can
If
go
you
with
have-
the
if you
abusive
have an ab-
girlfriend, sure.
If
Yeah,
you have
go.
an abusive girlfriend, right? If you have an abusive girlfriend
Sure.
who you love, are you gonna
Okay.
say, "I love this girl because she does, she picks up the house and does my laundry, and because she beats the shit out of me"? No,
No,
you
see
can
that
love her for all the good things that she does
I'm
for you.
not saying that you can't love all the good things, because like obviously that's easy to do, and that's why I
Mhm.
love. That's why like when people love somebody truly, and the saying is like I love you with all your flaws. You take everybody as they are. You can't
Mhm.
take a whole human life and vouch for them in the sense of saying that you love X person, in this case it was Hitler, and negate all the bad things that they did in their life. You can't do that.
Oh, I would almost argue that,
Wait, why? People say that they love Disney, Walt Disney.
or let's just say, right? Let's just say, ooh, I'm not going to go. There's been some recent documents that I hope you
Wait.
guys looked into,
Okay.
but let's just
I-
go George
Walt
Washington,
Disney was a fucking very known
sh-
racist prick, bro.
sure. Sure.
right? Dr. King had extramarital affairs, several of them, and was actually had the cops called on him. I think it was the day before he died for beating a woman, right?
And
There's skeletons in everybody's
I,
closet now. Now, I hear you, Damo, because especially with that person,
Hold
with the
on, Corpse,
with the,
did your mic get lower?
I don't know. Can you
Okay,
guys hear
yeah,
I
me?
don't
you're
think
good
so.
now.
I could do. Oh, I don't know.
Okay,
It got
so
lower for me. I don't
I
know.
know,
I
I
just want to
know.
make sure everybody's hearing you
Yeah,
clearly
yeah, yeah.
for what you're about to say.
So, and Dark Sage has an interesting question for the panel. Go ahead and put
Drop
it
it.
in the comments, my guy, or gal, whoever, whatever. Yeah, anywho, I know it's hard because we're talking about that dude, and the gravity of what he did was so grand, right? But we're passing judgment when we're saying, but how could you still have some kind of love for them? Like, how could you? And the scripture is going to tell me that I'm supposed to love them. I'm to love them because condemnation and judgment is not mine. It's for someone else, right? And so though I don't have to turn a blind eye, I can still acknowledge like, yo, yeah, this shit's terrible. I'm a whole deer. The good things that they did doesn't mean I have to forget all the bad. Like, you get what I'm saying? And with somebody in particular like him, I can still see where somebody says, "Yo, like I still have love for him because they did this for me," or "I still have love because something they did paved the pathway for this," right? And yes, all of this is still horrible, but I still want to hold on to this small piece of what was good, right? Like, let me still squeeze that.
And you gotta also remember, right? Like Kanye is also a man of God. So like
That
maybe he feels the same way that Corpse is saying right now. And at the end of it, he could be condemned. You know what I mean? Kanye could be condemned, and he's just a fool who's willing to sit around and wait for God
damn.
Whoa,
to say
damn,
what
safe.
God has to say to him.
Dark Sage, hold on, I'll read this off. Says a movie about D-Day in World War II is coming out called Pressure. It is about Dwight Eisenhower, who is my hero in life, and his role in planning it, as well as his time as Supreme Allied Commander. With how Hollywood is today and how they have a need to constantly pander to any audience they see, I'm incredibly concerned if they will even dare to go down the toxic masculinity, white man bad route with him, of all people, or if they will actually leave it alone and show him how he was.
Is there a question in there?
I guess the question is do we think that Hollywood will go down a route of portraying him as a toxic masculine man when he was the architect of D-Day,
My question is
or
simple. Yeah.
will they go down the DEI route and pander to the minority just to get them to watch and say he was a rage baiting white man, or will they do the right thing and not attempt it because of how liked he is by many people and how he was and how has the backlash would he if they did? Huh. Okay, yes. No, I don't. I think my answer for that would be that they leave it alone and show it how it was, right? And if there's any like provable, confirmed statements that they could put in there, like actual dialogue that they have from journals or something, throw it
Wait,
in there.
can you share the first text again?
It's incredibly large, and you're going to get cut out of the screen. But hold on.
I just need the top part of it.
A movie about D-Day in World War II is coming out called Pressure. It is about Dwight Eisenhower, who is my hero in life and his role in planning it as well as his time as Supreme Allied Commander. With how Hollywood is today and how they have the need to constantly pander to any audience they see, I am incredibly concerned if they will even dare to go down the toxic masculinity, white man bad route. See,
There's definitely going to be some pandering but there has to be like you're going to, because you have audiences that have never heard of this person, others that are deeply read into this person. So you have to have a middle ground of like, this is the person in like the short and sweet of it, or as digestible as a, piece of content could be without losing, hopefully, its essence.
I don't think that every movie that's coming out now is like a DEI fucking type of movie though.
I don't think so either.
I think.
I mean, think about one of the greatest movies that we've had within the last 5 years. Oppenheimer was not a DEI movie.
Jesus Christ.
That motherfucker was a banger too, bro. I'm sorry.
That movie was good, but it was long. So funny.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, it's one of the greatest movies that has come out within the last decade, and it was not a DEI movie.
And I will say,
all genres. I just wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't.
Okay. Say what? That it was DEI?
I wouldn't say that it was one of the best movies.
Oh no, I'm not saying it was one of the best movies. I'm saying critically rated, it was one of the best movies.
Okay.
One of the
last
better movies.
Decade.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm
not saying it was one of the greatest.
Right.
I'm just saying critically rated it, and that that's who the box office, or that's who Hollywood feels that they need to pander to when it comes to this DEI thing. But again, Oppenheimer was it was not a DEI movie.
I think that the DEI in Hollywood nowadays is kind of stopping its buck at who they're hiring, right, for roles. I think we're still seeing a lot of like, and again, I don't know the dude, I don't know his work like that, but I see the arguments online about the young man that they have who's going to be playing Severus Snape. They say, "Oh, it's a DEI hire. They want to stay and change shit, blah, blah, like whatever." That I'm not going to sit there and argue, but I can see how people get there, right? So I see more of that. I don't see them portraying Eisenhower anyway in a way that I would see that they may portray somebody more like Winston Churchill a certain way, because as of recent, there's been a big movement to like kind of make him more of like this ominous war hawk type of guy, which I mean, there's documentation, whatever. So yeah, no, I'm not worried about it getting flushed with some kind of like wannabe white man bad or toxic masculinity type of rhetoric or undertone, since that's a theme of tonight. Undertones to it or anything like that. I don't see that at all. Because they did Oppenheimer.
It's gonna be fucking Brendan Fraser who plays Eisenhower in the movie. And he's a great actor, by the way.
Fucking GOAT, dude. He's top 10 for sure.
Wait, but I don't understand how they can make it I don't understand how it would be a fear of making it a DEI movie, like a DEI.
Wait, hold on. Sorry, super quick. Because we're gonna move off this topic pretty much completely. I just want to say my piece really quick on the whole Kanye thing. Maybe because we got hit with a good question.
Thank you, Dark Sage.
I think me and Pudge are actually mainly saying the same thing. I believe. I could be wrong. What I'm not saying is that we have to condemn people for, like, wholly condemn people for all of the bad things that they've ever done. Because you're right. Everybody does have skeletons in the closet. That it's just we're human. We're imperfect in every way. I'm not saying that he had to. I'm not saying that he had to go up there and vehemently always say, fuck Hitler, whatever. But there is like that wholeness of a person. I think the true, at least in my opinion, the true message of like the needing to love everybody isn't necessarily to show or give unconditional love or say that you love somebody. It's more to like wish and hope that they obviously do better and do the best that they can and stray away from like any sort of sin or bad things that they do in their life. And I think what people choose to sin and what people choose to do, whether that's good or bad, but because we're talking about bad in this particular instance, the bad, you have to take that like with the whole person. And if you're willing to say that you love that person, it's all the bad is attached to that. You can't separate that. It's not fair, I think.
But again, we've talked about love on the podcast before, and we all know that your view on love is completely different than a lot of people's view of love. Because I could disagree. I could disagree with what you're saying right now.
You could. I mean, I don't want to argue.
I mean,
I
do. So I agree. In a partnership, I have to deal with the good and bad of what people come with. But I could say that I love Kanye. That doesn't mean that I have to like love all the negative shit that he does.
I'm not saying that you have to love what he does. I'm saying when you say that,
you said there's no separation between the
no,
good and the bad, though.
What I'm not saying is that in saying that you say that you love Kanye, and attached to Kanye is all of the bad connections that he's drawn to himself. That is true. That's just. I'm not saying that you love every word he's uttered, every action he's ever done. I'm just saying that when you say that you love a person or that you support a person, there are those negatives that they've collected throughout their life that is also attached to them as an individual. And you have to.
That doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that
I'm not saying that you're supporting them. I'm saying that in saying that you love somebody or have support for somebody, that all of that is connected. You can't really say, "Oh, I love them," but I only love them when, say, like a director. I only love them when like they direct like or when you say that I love them, a lot of other things are attached to that than just like them and all the good things that you think that they've done. Does that make sense?
Why can't you say that you love somebody only for the good things that they've done? Why can't you say that?
Because they're not just the amalgamation of all the good that they've done. They're everything.
But if that's why I love them, like, isn't love subjective?
I think sometimes, and sometimes it's too sticky. There's too many other things.
Like I could see it if he said I love everything about Hitler.
That would be like absolute, sure. But no. Actually, that statement I believe would entail that you agree and support everything they've ever done. And then right. I'd question you a lot more of like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Then I wouldn't stand behind the context of the conversation that was being had.
I understand, but like
if he said, I love Hitler, and this is why I love him, you're giving me the context in which reason you love him. And I'm understanding of why you love him. I'm not saying that I agree with the statement. Like, I'm not agreeing that I also love Hitler. I'm saying that you said, I love Hitler. This is why I love him. XYZ.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we're just going to disagree. But, okay.
Like, just, you can love somebody only for the good things that they've done.
I don't believe that.
That's like the same reason I can't hate something and discredit the things that I like, and
exactly,
not,
yes,
like,
exactly,
and mention the things that are loved, right? Like, if I can say that I hate something, I hate Spectrum. I hate Spectrum.
Sure,
but I'm only gonna mention the reasons why I hate Spectrum. I can't also bring into consideration what I liked about it. I can say I love Spectrum because of all the things that I love about it. If I'm only bringing into context the things that I loved about Spectrum.
Sure, you could vent about like why you would hate something. Sure. But then if somebody's like, well, what about this other good stuff? Could you not say like, oh yeah, that's valid. Like that's all like in the same package. Like, they do
everything is valid, remember?
No. But valid. Like not in like some abstract way. I'm just saying like in a real way, like, yeah, they bring, internet connectivity to rural areas. They're making the place better and better, whatever. They're making, remote jobs possible in certain areas that it might not have been, you know, things like that. Like you wouldn't base an opinion off of just everything that you hate. It's all tied in there. It's everything is tied in there. Like even in companies and stuff like that. Exactly how you mentioned.
I want to add on as well because
Sure.
Dark Sage decided to also comment again.
Or
He
I don't
says,
know
"I
if you have
also
something opened on your computer screen or something, but it made you mad
It's like
blurry.
mad pixelated. You sound good though, but
ooh."
you're just pixelated.
He says, "I also asked this because it is a movie about World War II, and like the person said, Oppenheimer did not end up being that. But with D-Day and such, there's a lot of things that you can't portray that is just flat out disrespectful or wrong. I will say, right? Let's just take this, mustache man. There's a lot of conversations that we're having today about him and around him that I don't think people would have dared have had or said um, in our lifetime, right? And I think that they're also doing that. Like again, Winston Churchill now is being positioned as like some like madman, right? Which is really crazy. I've never looked at it like that. Um, and so I could understand this young man's or young person's position on why they don't want the Eisenhower one to end up that way. Um,
I'm
yeah.
confused about what they're talking about, honestly.
So let's just say, right? So let's take, for example, this whole thing about my man Hit. For all of our life, we've always
Yo,
known
you did not
bad, bad,
shorthand. You did not give him a
bad dude.
shorthand
That went
nickname.
over my head for a second, bro. I was like, who the fuck is he talking about?
Yeah, well, I
The
just don't want to
lure.
say his
He's
name.
talking about the lure.
The lure, bro. Like I don't want to say his name too many times on YouTube because they're, I don't know.
It's actually my
Some
biggest.
I have a German homie, and we call him Uncle H.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so Big H out here acting a fool, right? We like so the conversations around him are starting to kind of change a little bit, right? And for a good chunk of the community, not only just American, but worldwide, would probably be very distasteful hearing people talk that way, right? And so where people like Eisenhower or Churchill were revered as these war heroes, there's starting to be narratives pushed around that they weren't the best people. And so whether they're wrong, right, I'm not here to debate that, but I just don't see either one of those gentlemen, especially Eisenhower here in America, being portrayed as some horrible guy. They might slide in a couple things where he really fucked up, right? Like he really fucked up on some stuff or maybe pushed the boundary on a couple things. I don't see them,
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to understand. Like, what is this person's fear that they're going to portray? Like, the statement says there is a lot of things that you can portray that is just flat out disrespectful or wrong. Like, if you can portray it to be disrespectful or wrong, it's probably disrespectful or wrong.
Yeah.
So, like, what I don't understand what the issue is. Like, I get it, this person is your hero, but you got to tell the truth when it comes to certain things. And if it was a bad or disrespectful thing, then and you're making a movie about this person, it's got to be shown that way. Like, you can't sugarcoat shit especially when it comes to like American history and World War II and D-Day, which are huge things in American history and what we've done, like what the country did in help of other parts of the world. Like, whatever this person is afraid of, it's either going to be shown or it's irrelevant and it's not going to be shown at all.
I think probably the main thing to keep in mind is that if you want historical accuracy or like the best portrayal of like history within some sort of like visual medium, a movie is not the way to do it. A movie is there to portray a story and to inflict some sort of emotion on a person, whether that be like happiness, some sort of inspiration, whatever it may be. There is going to be some fluff that is going to be introduced into this movie, whether you like it or not, and whether it's appropriate or not. And things will be cut out and things will be added. And whenever you see like based on a true story, it's always like 5% is the base, and then we just built a whole bunch of shit on top, and like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, it's entertainment purposes.
yeah, it's entertainment. So like, it's probably not going to be what you want it to be if it's historical accuracy or like the best portrayal of him.
Ooh, I got something for you, Dark Sage. Again, I want to thank you for your interactions with us today. Um, I'm gonna say something, and I hope that it's taken properly.
Uh-oh.
But if they're truly your hero, if they're truly the person that you say that they are, then no amount of information put against them will prosper, right? And we learn that in the scripture. No weapons formed against thee shall prosper. Are they your hero because of what you know or by what they did? Because if they show you what they did and they're no longer your hero, tells you about who they were. But if they're your hero, right? You get y'all feel what I'm saying? Are you believing a fairy tale that was written in a 7th grade history book? Or is there a lot of blood on that man's hands that you're just so happening to want to overlook because we won the war? Uncle H brought those boys out of a depression, revitalized their economy. Patriotism was at an all-time high. All kinds of shit. He still did horrible things, and he's going to go down as a horrible man, right? I I'm not idolizing nor making a hero out of that guy. Same thing with Eisenhower. He did great things for sure, did amazing things, but he's no hero of mine, right? And so I just hope you don't put a hero too high on a pedestal. Um, and if you can still find the ability to love him, no matter how they portray him afterwards, then you really got something going for yourself, bud.
But just remember, it's just a portrayal based off of like
somebody's
somebody's opinion.
hmm
Do you guys have a favorite Holocaust movie?
Jesus.
the boy in striped pajamas.
What the fuck? Why you say
Ooh,
Jesus
that was a
for?
good one. That was
Why you say Jesus for?
I don't know. That was just a heavy topic to bring up.
There's some fucking really good. A Boy in the Striped Pajamas is my favorite as well.
Wait, am I thinking
I
about
bawl like a baby every time I watch that fucking movie.
Yeah.
What?
Like an absolute. The thing that they do very well in that movie is remind you what childhood is like
hmm
and how ignorant you are and why ignorance is bliss.
hmm
That's what I love about that movie so much. I was asking a genuine question, D.
No,
wasn't,
I didn't think you were like being shock value right now. I wasn't ready
I
for
just
that question.
like. Hold on, can we do a pulse check? I like how we started off like, bro, American Eagle can't be racist. Next
Yeah,
thing, bro, Hitler, bro, Hitler. Was he that bad? Like
how did we go from blonde hair, blue eyed advertisement to talking about Hitler for the rest of the podcast?
This is the American Eagle funnel, bro.
That's what it is, bro.
Whoa,
They
bro,
did
we are
exactly what they were trying to do, bro.
dog whistling so hard right now, bro. Let's go. I love it.
Well, I'm trying to think of another Holocaust movie that was absolutely amazing.
I want to say something kind of to Zero's point, where I kind of hear both of you though, where I wouldn't love somebody based solely off the good, right? Like, oh, that's it, right? I don't want to make it seem that way. Um, I think the true challenge in again, I don't want to get like biblical or nothing really like that, but like that's the part of the challenge of the type of life, that people of the faith are called to do, and that's what makes it challenging. And it's a part of the reason why they will say you always fall short of being like Christ, because like the same people that nailed him to the cross, he offers salvation to, right? And you're supposed to love them and love these people despite them, despite what they're doing and despite their atrocities, right? Unfortunately for a man of his nature, his atrocities were just crazy, right? So it's hard for us. Um, but we're supposed to be able to say, kind of like how Save is saying, like, I love you because of the good in you, the good that is you, right? Even if it's just a little fucking piece, like I'm supposed to love all of it with all of me, and that's rough, and it's fucking hard because it's like, how are you supposed to separate the two? Like, that's why I get where Zero, where you're at. It's like, yeah, sure you did, but I can't say I love you because what you did was just so fucking crazy. So I'm kind of in the middle a little bit.
No.
But
Okay, just
Also-
to save face and just like because I didn't get to
Sure,
rebuttal
yeah,
or
yeah.
say back to whatever D said because we got into Dark Sage's question. I agree with Damien. Like any person that I love, I'm taking it for the good and the bad. Like I love you because of the good and the bad. I just want to be very clear on that. Like I'm not just gonna love somebody for all the good things that they provide for me or that they provide
absolutely,
for whatever the
absolutely.
case may be personally. So I'm on the same page as you, D, when it comes to like who I love. But my argument is that I think that people can love only the good things that other people do.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
I don't.
I don't love that way.
I just don't. I just don't think that's true. But okay. I just think that.
I
Sorry, go ahead.
I've had to find that, like, with my pops, right? Because he's dead. So it's like I had to really learn to let go of the bad shit that happened between us, the bad things that he did to my, not just me, but my family. And I tell my sisters more nowadays is I've let go of trying to love what I wanted him to be, and I just love him for who and what he was,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, and the good that I was able to extract out of it, I love even more wholeheartedly. The bad, I've learned to love as well because I know how I don't want to be, right? Or I know the behaviors that I don't want to perpetrate against my children. You get what I'm saying? And so it's a weird thing where you have to be able to learn. Now, Uncle H don't get that same pass, right? And that's where I fall short of being very Christ-like. But that's just
I
how we get there.
two things really quick. Putch had kind of touched on something where I was saying something along the lines of like you. Oh, I don't even know if I can argue both. Hold on, because I think we're still getting misconstrued a little bit. Because my point isn't that if somebody's done enough bad, you can't love them. I'm saying
No. I don't think either one of us are saying
Okay,
that
okay.
either.
So-
I don't think that either.
I'm saying the love.
Somebody loves somebody.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, probably Hitler had tons of. I mean, he had tons of people who loved him.
And mommy and daddy.
But
But that's the only caveat, right? Is that there's only a certain group of people that your love is quote unquote forced, and that's your children.
so I guess maybe
So mommy and daddy don't count.
the maybe the phrasing is what I have issue with is that love to me is very much like without argument that is the acceptance and the like willingness to like put everything on the line, not in like a I'll die for you, but just like all of my credibility, all of my, in this specific instance, this was his like personal like branded, like I'm willing to stake all my shit on this phrase, on this person that I love.
You're still talking about Kanye, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can't divorce that, no matter how much explanation you want to give to it. I don't think you could divorce the good from the bad, and not even because he's done so much bad, because there are people who've done a lot of bad that aren't to that level, that I would still say like you don't have to vouch your love for them. You could like appreciate and love the things that they brought into the world, inventions that are going to better people's lives forever. Like that's cool to give homage and to give respect for the good force they could have been in the world. But to also just, you don't have to stake your love on them. Like it's just not, you don't have to lay on that grenade. It just doesn't make sense to me, because that all comes with it. unfortunate to me, at least.
Agreed. A very agreeable statement. Very agreeable.
I appreciate that.
I think um I think with some stuff eventually we'll learn to be able to speak on a little easier, right? I think a part of the problem when we're talking about somebody like him in particular who's done atrocious things, right? Is that there's still people alive today. You know? Like there's people alive today who experienced what was
We got cut out.
Uh-oh.
He got cut out real bad.
Oh, no.
Oh, I can hear him, but he's
we
not
can hear
moving.
you.
Oh, there he is. All right, all right, all
Hi.
right.
And he's
Uh-oh,
gone.
again.
Hear me?
At least we got a smile from him.
There
Oh, there he is. Wait, all right, yeah. Wave your hands.
I mean, you blinked like
Oh, he's
twice.
blinking. Okay, he's good. He's good. He's good.
Yeah, no, I
It
just
started up Roblox. God damn it.
I just think fucking after a while we'll be able to say certain things about him like, oh, he, yeah, they came out of a Great Depression under him, right? And like we could say it and it not be like misconstrued as some like you sympathize with him. It's like, no, bro, that's just a fucking fact. Like that's just a fact of the matter. He still sucks. Like
I don't agree.
you don't think we'll ever get to that point?
No, I think there's certain people in this world that have an asterisk next to their name that just are just not gonna be like enjoyable conversations for anybody ever.
What about Genghis Khan? Or
What about
George
him?
Washington?
What about him?
George Washington was known for killing Native American women and children.
That's not what he's known for.
But if you know,
But what I'm saying is that's not what he's known for. You know what I mean? Like, if anybody says Hitler, we know what he's known for.
Do you
Wait,
think,
wait,
anybody
hold on.
do you
says,
think
but this is
the
to my
guy
point.
who made
This
the
is to my-
microphone, right?
wait. This is to my point.
That's
Is it
the
because we're
Kanye.
still so close? Because George
I don't think
Washington in the time was known for being that dude. 200 years later, we know him now for something else. Because the conversations around his atrocities simmered.
I mean,
Right?
maybe if
But-
you try and change the narrative of
Yeah,
who these people were,
I was just saying,
but George Washington will always be taught and learned as the first president. That's the staple of when you hear his name. That's what he's known for. Hitler will always be known for trying to eradicate the Jews. Like that is what he will always be known for.
yeah.
I mean, it sucks to say because I also feel the same way as you, Corpse. Like I want to see a day where, I mean, I'm not saying like let's clear Hitler's name. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. But I also like want to know the other things that these people have done and not just.
I think that
hang
day
them.
is today. You can have that conversation. You just
It's an uneasy one.
no, you
Yeah.
absolutely you could have that. That
you gotta,
history
like,
is
look
out
around.
there. No, that history is out there. Like, are you gonna be sitting at Starbucks
if I-
talking about the history
Zero,
of
if
Hitler?
I came up to
No,
you-
but I'm just saying,
If
like,
I came up to you and I was like, "Yo, don't you think it's kind of dope that like, Hitler had a huge part in the Volkswagen Beetle, which is like was a huge staple for Volkswagen, and look at all the accomplishments that Volkswagen has made today. Like, doesn't that kind of give you like a nasty feeling?
no, I mean, me.
Isn't
not
it
really.
dope that Hitler had this like dope like this hand in this, or isn't it dope that like Hitler helped make the microphone and
He wanted to be an architect.
I want to be
and
an
was like-
artist.
Yeah, he thought he was like the greatest artist and architect that ever lived. He wanted to build buildings and create.
or if they found like if I saw one of his paintings, I was like, "Yo, did you see that Hitler piece that they showed? Like, it was actually really dope. Doesn't that give you like kind of a nasty fucking feeling?"
But we can talk about how Genghis Khan killed not only the servants that buried him, but the servants that buried him was killed by other servants that were killed by other servants, so nobody ever knew who buried him. We're like, damn, that's fucking crazy.
What's up, guys? Hello, cat.
He
Hello, hub.
changed the carbon footprint of the world.
So I guess it depends, on how you phrase it, because the question wasn't like whether or not we could discuss these things. The question turned into like, can we admire his accomplishments? And like that, I think those are different questions, but you can.
Well, can I admire somebody's accomplishments that did wrong?
I want to say yes. Like the intuitive thing that comes to mind though is that there's always going to be that like, what is it? It's almost like a. I don't know how to explain this, but it's like a slant. It's like a, oh, that's cool. But this thing over here. It's like, especially with the validity of like how much shit he specifically did.
See, but I want us to get to a spot where that slant no longer exists. The facts are still on the table. I don't need for the DJ to scratch every time we decide to talk about him, right? Or any other dude who created atrocities. No amount of reverence or cool accomplishments that I find out that you did, bro, is going to make me forget what's on the table. Like,
I just don't think. I think that feeling is a good thing to have. When people have done atrocities, you should feel like they're not good things.
Yes.
But can people that have committed atrocities still commit good things?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
but what I'm saying
can
is
we not be appreciative of the
you absolutely
good things that they've done?
can be. You know, that's what I said.
Without being like
no, you have
chastised.
Again, this actually like kind of ties into what I was saying earlier. You have to take the good with the bad, and the bad is good to feel, and you can feel that admiration of like, you know what, as crazy as he was, as bad as it was, without his innovations here or there, or you know, we just wouldn't have the things that we have today, and you know, kudos, I guess.
But then you always have to say, but
yeah, but the butt is like a
they were also a piece of
huge
shit.
butt. Like, yeah, yes, they were pieces of shit. Yes, that's like taking their whole person. Yes, you can't really divorce those. Those bad feelings should be there. They're bad things.
But why can't so how come it can't be the opposite?
I think it can be. I think you see that all the time when
I'm talking about with Hitler
because Hitler's dead and he can't do new good shit in the world.
That's a fact. But
what about the shit that he did? Like you can't.
Doesn't matter.
Like okay, hold on. Yes, let me give my example.
Okay.
And again, I'm not standing on what I'm saying right now. This is for the sake of argument. Okay, I just want to be very clear. So I can't go and say, "Yo, isn't it dope that Hitler like helped make the microphone that everybody uses today?" But you know, he was also kind of a piece of shit because of everything else all the other shit that he did. But I can't be like, "Yo, yeah, Hitler was a piece of shit," but it was also kind of dope that he, you know, helped make the microphone.
You know,
like, it only works one way.
Because I think there's a lot of truth to when people say like it doesn't matter how you start, it's how you finish. Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking about the literal like timeline of his life to where he died by suicide. I think mercury pill or some sort of like suicide capsule.
Allegedly.
He's still alive, bro.
But I think it's like you can do some bad shit, right? You can. And you could do some bad shit in ways that are very offensive to people. And then you could work and progressively, ideally, get better with, you know, days and years of progression. People will forget that eventually. If it's not insanely heinous. Like, obviously, if you don't fucking kill a ton, like, if you don't go do like a mass shooting, like, you can get through things. But some things are so bad that like, and then especially if you're dead, you can't really do new cool shit or good shit. It's like, yeah, that's kind of your legacy, bro. You left the world some crazy fucking baggage, and that's your legacy. Sucks.
It does. Ladies and gentlemen.
I guess we just have to disagree on that one.
That's
The only reason I'm saying I'm disagreeing is because you're saying if I bring up the good in which he did, I still also have to bring up the bad. But it doesn't work the opposite way.
So I view it as like gravity. Have you ever seen those like they're made of fabric and you put like a ball in the middle and then you like throw a marble and it's like this is how gravity works and it's like
yeah,
the sun is in the middle basically. You can have good things, but this gravitational pull of this negative bullshit you did, it'll always slant it in that direction
That's actually a very good analogy.
Thank you.
That's a very good analogy. Because the bigger the bullshit, the less good shit we can talk about before it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's actually a very, very, very good analogy.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, why can't we put good shit in the middle?
You can. You have to
You
work
can.
to do that, though. And you have to be alive to do that. And you have to want to do that.
But wait, but what I'm at, this is the point that I'm trying to make, D, is that why does the good shit have to come after the bad shit? Like if I did a
the
bunch
gravity.
of good shit, if I did a bunch of good shit before I did something bad, why can we not still talk about the good shit that I did? Why does the bad thing have to be the final thing? If I die doing bad shit, why does it have to be that? But I did a bunch of good shit prior to me doing the bad shit. Why does that have to be the talking point of what I did?
So
Okay, hold on. Let me
what I'm saying?
take this. Let me take this analogy he used, and maybe I can sum it up like this. Because we have all these planets that are circling around the sun. We just so happen to be existing on Earth, right? Now we could sit there and talk about when we want to talk about the orbit and the way that these planets are spinning. We could sit there and talk about how one spins a little faster, this one gets around this one a little faster, this one takes a little bit longer, right? But the underlining message and the underlining thing around all of it, the fact of it all, is that we're spinning around the sun. It's the biggest mass inside of our solar system, right? So that mass could be all the bad that he did. And sure, we could talk about how Neptune spins so fast around the sun, or how Earth gets around the sun, or this one takes a spin around the sun, and that's cool. But at the end of the day, it's always going. When we're talking about what's orbiting around this thing, all these different arguments and conversations around the thing is, it's the heaviest part, bro. And you gotta acknowledge that's the. We could talk about how they all affect each other, but the
what I'm saying
gravitational.
I
is
would say-
it wasn't the heaviest part
I would
until
say
it happened.
I would say though that this is just human biology. This is how we evolved. There's only I'm taking this quote unfortunately from Jordan Peterson. There's only
Well, shout out JP, baby.
Yeah. Listen, I don't agree with basically anything he says anymore. He's fallen off
Doesn't
the deep
matter.
end so
He's
far.
got to be on the show eventually,
No,
bro.
I don't love him. Okay. Anyway, I think you can do all your life good things, right? And I think Jordan Peterson has a big point when some of the philosophy stuff he says. As a human, you evolve to feel good and to feel bad, but the bad can actually get you killed, and you could die only once, and you only get one life. That fucking sucks. And you could be only so happy. So biologically, you're like, this happy stuff, it's really cool. It's really nice. It's lovely when it comes. But this bad shit, we got to really fucking focus on this. Cause this is going to be really bad if we don't fucking lock the fuck in right now. And so unfortunately, the really bad or the bad in general does have that just capability of just wiping out so much good because of, I'd say because of human biology. We just happen to fixate. That's why bad news is better for viewership, for clicks, for ratings. And that's why things are structured now and maybe like a little bit of a skewed way to always be a little bit negative, is because we focus on the negative so heavily, in my opinion. I think that's why.
Sure,
I can take that.
sure. I can see why that is.
It's not fair.
Yeah.
I wish the universe worked a little bit different, but that's just how it works, you know?
I mean, I think the three of us always try and find a little bit of good in whatever the fuck is happening. So I agree. I can agree, and I really like the analogy that you used. That was a very, very, very good analogy.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was probably one of the more fire ones you've ever said.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was probably one of the best analogies I think you've ever used in conversation as long as I've known you.
Damn, Jesus.
It was a really fucking good. Well, you got to remember there was one time where we were talking about we don't know what's real or not because we have to see it, and you were like, if I told you that there was a fairy behind that bush. I don't know if you remember that
Yeah, I
conversation.
do remember that. And
Yeah, it was really bad.
I have to remember it again, but I probably stand by it.
I don't remember what the full conversation was. All I remember is that you were trying to convince me that there was a fairy behind a bush.
Yeah. I do remember, yeah, but I don't remember exactly what I said. What a fucking crazy conversation.
I think that's what I enjoy very much so about this podcast And I was thinking about this the other day, and I was actually talking to somebody about this the other day. Is that sometimes we kind of hype it up, like our disagreements are obviously, like, if we were on the beach again and had a disagreement, it wouldn't be as hyped up as it is on the podcast sometimes. Like, obviously we're doing this for content and blah 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 blah, but it also is hyped up like this. Like, there's been times when Damien and I have argued in front of each other. There's been times when Corpse and I have argued in front of each other. There's been times where we're fucking texting, you guys are going crazy, or we're on a FaceTime and go crazy over each other. So I just really like that we've done 94 fucking episodes and we've been very real every single fucking time.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
But also, Damien still has not showed his dick in 94 episodes.
It's all right.
Wait till episode
Maybe in 95.
100. Wait until 100.
100?
Everybody's getting the link.
Well, boys, I love you guys.
Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on. I know you got to go real quick. I know you got to go, but I do want to bring this up real quick just because Damien said what he just said.
Shit, he got the link premature.
What do we think about Lil Tay? Wait, you guys know who Lil Tay is, right?
I don't know what you're about to say.
Do you know who Lil Tay is?
Vaguely. Isn't she like?
Is that before your time?
No. I think she was like the. Wait, am I crazy? Am I about to say something really stupid? Is she the little girl who was like flexing and like?
Yeah, she was like,
okay.
I got more money than you. Blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah. She was like
I
13
don't
or
even want
something.
to. I don't even want to get into her.
Well, anyways, I just wanted to see how you guys felt. She just turned 18. She was like,
she dropped the OnlyFans.
Going up to her 18th birthday, she was like promoting her OF link. Yikes. And like made a meal in 3 hours.
Fucking gross.
Isn't that like pedophilic?
It's fucking gross. Yeah, that's why I don't even want to fucking know. It's fucking gross. It's fucking gross.
I just wanted to get your guys' take on it because I thought it was fucking insane, bro.
What a way to end it.
Fucking gross. Yeah.
No. I was genuinely disgusted because it like popped up on my For You page on TikTok, and she was like, "Hey, what's up? It's Lil Tay. Should I drop the OF link?" And then I saw on Twitter that she made $1 million within like the first 3 hours of her 18th birthday.
Yikes.
And I was like, that is fucking bonkers. Bonkers. All right, sorry. Go
we'll chat about it more later. Or like, next podcast.
But this has been the Usual Tuesday podcast. I'm your host, Big Corpse. Guys, American Eagle isn't racist. Go buy, use my link in the bio, right, to get your new pair of American Eagle pants. I'm an official ambassador. Unofficially, I'm just kidding. But if you want to, American Eagle. Yeah. 1 Corinthians 1:18, for the message of the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing, but to us who are being saved, it is the power of God. I think about a lot that Christ was a carpenter, and when he got nailed to the cross, I wonder if the smell of wood made him feel like as if he was at home. In the scripture, it says, pick up your cross, people, so pick it up. Yeah, let's endeavor into the next week and keep this fucking shit rolling. I hope you guys have a good day, week, month, year, and life. Until next time.
Oh, Save, are you going or am I going?
I'll go.
Okay.
All right, ready? All right. Well, hold on. We'll say rock, paper, scissors, and shoot because I think the camera will be a little off.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Wait, you don't have to go like this.
Oh.
Just shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. You win.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much, Corpse. Thanks so much to Save for being here, chatting with me, and witnessing my, some are saying, greatest analogy of all time. I'm not saying that, but some are saying that. So I appreciate you, whether you were here for the live, the playback, you were here for a minute, an hour, the whole thing. I appreciate you nonetheless. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Dark, what was it, Sage? For the questions. Sage. We appreciate any sort of feedback, or we're live, so take questions, stuff like that. Again, thanks so much. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.
All right, boys. One love.
Wait,
We got
what the
saved.
fuck?
Wait. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. My brain.
Corpse is ready to go, bro. He's like, I got chicken nuggets waiting for me.
I don't know. She's
Now
been
it's
calling
keys,
me.
bro.
She's been calling me.
My
She's
bad,
been
my
calling
bad.
me.
All right, I'll make it quick. I'll make it quick. Thank you guys for another beautiful episode of the Usual Tuesday podcast. We're on episode 94. Episode 100 is coming so fast. It's gonna be awesome. Damien's gonna show his dick. He gave us the best analogy that he's ever given us in 94 episodes tonight. Corbs, thank you so much for being here. I can't wait for the new drops. Make sure if you guys are shopping on corpsecollection.com using code SAVE1 at checkout, save yourself a little bit of money. You know, it's beautiful. I can't wait to do this next week. I think we're going to be on time next week. I'm sorry for being late. Well, you know, we didn't do an episode last week. We got real life stuff going on sometimes. So appreciate you guys hanging out with us, to our beautiful community. Make sure Dark Sage took perfect example to ask a question. That's awesome. We haven't had that in a very long time, like viewer live podcast interaction. So I that was awesome. I love doing that. But you guys have a great night. As always, you guys stay healthy, stay happy. I love you. Keep smiling. See you guys on the next one.
Peace.
All right, boys.
Have good
Love you
chicken
guys.
nuggets, Corpse. Bye. Chattington. Oh, Chattington. Oh, I don't think I got to Dark Master. Wait, Grandmaster. 1 wrong undoes 10 rights. I agree. It's unfortunate. That's just the way the world works, you know? Gotta take the good with the bad, in my opinion. And then, you know, you work to look at the mullet coming in, and then you work to to make it better. All right, everybody, thanks so much for all watching. I appreciate y'all. That was the Usual Tuesdays. And I'll see you in the next one. Look at us.